Hello everyone. Today we'll be building CSS animation library. So what we'll be doing is we'll be creating boxes basically. Inside the each box we'll be naming the animation basically animation thing. So whenever we click on the box, that animation has to perform, right? So this is what we are doing with the help of HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Give me a second. Yeah. Let's start by creating the HTML file, right? So initially what I'll do, I'll just create HTML file and name it index.html. Let's wait for some time. Also, I'll create CSS file and give the name style.css. Close this one. I'll come to index.html and create a very basic HTML template. Give me a second. So yeah, I'll just change the title to CSS animation library. I'll also link to the style sheet and give the path and name style.css. Next, what we'll be doing, let's start writing the HTML code. Initially, what I'll do, I'll just take the div and give the class name container. Next, what I'll do, I need 12 more divs. So what I'll do, I'll just give div into 12, or let me do one thing, div, I just need class name of box to box in every div. So I'll just make use of this one and I'll just give 12. So class name box we got. Also what I need, data animation, right? So I'll be making use of the data attribute here. So give me a second. So let me hold the Alt key. I'll just and just make use of the data animation. That's it. So here I'll just leave space. So first one I'll give bounce. Second one I'll give rotate. Next one will be showing basically scale. Third one will be fade. Fifth one will be slide. Also flip. This one will be pulse. Shape. Swing. This one I'll just give tada. And also the last two will be wobble. And the final one will be jello. I just make these things first letter capital. Or let it be like this itself. Wobble and jello, right? So let me name the same inside the div. I'll just give bounce, rotate, scale, fade, slide, flip, pulse, shake, swing, tada, wobble, yellow. So this is it. Next, what I'll do, have done a mistake. Did I do anything? Give me a second. So here, yeah, what I did is I forgot to give h1 here. I'll just copy paste the same thing so that we'll get the reference as the header, right? Also, here I forgot to mention one more div. Basically, I'll give class name animation demo. So I'll just cut this one and paste it after this div. So let me format the document once. After these two divs, right, I want footer. So I'll make use of the footer tag. I don't need any class name or ID. So I'll just make use of the anchor tag inside. I'll give link of my YouTube channel. You can give anything of your choice, right? So I'll just give so inside the anchor tag, I'll just give CSS animation library by Bharat. So I'll just make use of the target underscore. So whenever I click on the footer text, right, it will open this link in the next web page, right? So I'll just format the document once. So this is it for the HTML. So next, what we'll do, we'll start writing the CSS. First, what I'll do, I just want to make use of the pop-ins font. So I'll just open the Chrome. Let's wait for some time. And I'll search for pop-ins. Click on the first link. Get font. Get embed code. Import. Just copy this one. Paste it over here. Next, what I'll do, let me make use of the body. Also, again, I'll come here. I'll just copy this one, right? I'll just paste it over here so that the primary font will be making use of his pop-ins here, and the secondary font will be, if something goes wrong, we'll be making use of sans serif. Let's continue with styling, right? Margin, I'll give 0. Padding, I'll give 0. Display, flex direction, column, justify content, space between, align items, center, height of 100 view height, background of linear gradient. To bottom, I'll give the colors. I'll choose is purple and white. So I'll give 8044 AD, and also for white, I'll just give FFF. So this is it for the body. Next, we'll style for the container. For that one, I'll just come here and copy this one, right? Class of container we have given. Just paste this one over here. Text align center, I'll give margin bottom of 20 pixel. H1, this one we are styling, right? H1. So I have already given. So what I'll do, color, I'll just take white. Also, margin bottom of, I'll give 80 pixel. This is it for the H1. Next, we'll style for the animation demo, right? So for that one, I'll just come here. I'll copy this one, class of animation demo, and paste it over here. Display grid template columns, repeat, will be displaying 4 boxes in a row, right? Make use of one file, gap, I'll give 20 pixel, give me a second, justify content, center. So this is it for the animation demo. Next, let's try it for the box, right? Where is this box coming from? Basically this one, div class of box. We have given box to each div, right? Totally 12 divs are there. We have given the class name box. So width, I'll give 200 pixel, height 150 pixel, background color 8E44AD. So color, I'll just give white, display, flex, justify content, center, align items, center, border radius 10 pixel, font size 20 pixel, cursor, pointer. Also, I'll just make use of the transition, all, and let's give ease, right? So this is it for the box. We'll style for the box again, but on hover. I'll just make use of the hover. Background color, I'll just give some darker background color this time, right? 732 D91. So this is it for the box on hover. Next, let's style for the footer. Let me go here once. I'll just copy the same thing, right? Let me paste it over here. So padding, I'll give 10 pixel and 0. Width 100%. Background color T44AD. Color FFF. Text align, center. Footer, text decoration, null, color FFF, right? So this is it for the CSS. Basically what we'll do, we'll add the keyframes to each animation, right? So give me a second. So this has to perform the animation, right? For that purpose, we'll be making use of keyframes for each animation. So first what I'll do, I'll just make use of the keyframes. I'll just mention this one here, comment, right? Bounce animation. Sorry. Just comment this one. Keyframes. Just give the name bounce. 0, 20, 50, 80, and 100. Transform. Translate. Initially 0. At 40%. Transform. Translate by minus 30 pixel at 60%, transform, translate y, minus 15 pixel. This is it for the bones. Let's start. Let's style for the bones, right? This one, right? So I'll just give bones. This one will basically, we'll be creating the class name in the JavaScript. So I'll just consider bounds. Just follow along with me. I'll give animation bounds. 2 seconds. I'll just set this one to infinite. So this is it for the bounds. Next, we'll style for rotate. I'll just make use of keyframes. Rotate. Make use of from. Transform. Rotate. Initially it will be 0 degree. To transform. Rotate of 360 degree. So this is it. Next, let's style for rotate, right? So I'll give animation rotate 2 seconds. Again, I'll give infinite. This time we'll give linear. Next, let's style for the scale, right? Scale animation. So let me give keyframes. Scale at 0%, 100%, transfer, scale of 1, and at 50%, we'll give transform, scale of 1.5. Next, I'll set the animation scale 2 seconds, infinite as well. So then let's style for the fade. I'll just give fade animation. I'll just make use of keyframes, fade 0%, at 0% and 100%. We'll give opacity of 1, and at 50% we are setting the opacity to 0.5. This is it. Within fade, I'll just give animation fade 2 seconds and infinite. Again, next, let's write for the slide, right? Let me comment this one. It's a slide animation, right? Keyframes. Just give slide at 0% and make use of transform, translate x minus 100% I'll give at 100% we'll be making use of transform translate x of 0, right? Slide animation of here, just give same thing, slide to for the 2 seconds. This will be infinite. Next, we'll write for the flip. So give me a second. Again, keyframe, flip at 0%. I'll give transform perspective of 400 pixel, rotate. This is going to be rotate y basically 0. Also at 100%, I'll just make use of the transform perspective of 400 pixel. Again, just make use of rotate by a. This will be 360 degree. So this is it for the flip basically. We give class name of flip, animation, same thing, flip, 2 seconds, infinite. This is it for the flip. Next, we'll write for the pulse. Keyframes, pulse at 0%. I'll just make use of the transform and just set scale of 1. Also at 50%, transformer scale, I'll give 1.1 at 100%, transform scale 1. Next, let's write the state for the pulse class. So animation, give pulse 2 seconds, infinite. Next, we'll write for shake, right? This is going to be shake at 0% and 100%. We'll give transform translate x. I'll be using, I'll just give 0 at 10%, 30%, 50%, 70%, also 90%, transform translate x of minus 10 pixel, and also at 20%, 40%, 60%, 80%. I'll just give transform translate x of 10 pixel, right? So this is it for the shade. We'll state for the class name shade. I'll just give animation 2 seconds, infinite. Next, let's write for swing. keyframes, swing at 20%, transform, rotate 3D, (15°) at 40%, transform, rotate 3D, minus 10°. Right, at 60%, transform, rotate 3D, one 5°. Right, at 80%, I'll just make use of transform, rotate 3D, again 0, 0, 1, I'll just give minus 5°. Also at 100% finally, I'll give transform, rotate 3D of 0, 0, 1 again, 0°. This is it for the swing. Let's write straight for the swing class. So same thing, animation, swing, 2 seconds, I'll just give infinite, right? So next, we'll write for the tada. Animation, keyframe, transform, scale of 1, 10%, 20%, transform, scale of 0.9. Also, let me give a rotate of minus 3°, right? At 30%, 50%, 70%, and at 90%. Let's make use of the transform, scale of 1.1 and rotate of 3°. So this is for 30%, 50%, 70%, and 90%. Next, at 40%, 60%, and at 80%. I'll just make use of transform, scale of 1.1 again, and make use of the rotate. I'll give minus 3°. Finally, at 100%, transform, scale of 1, rotate of 0. So this is it for the tada. We'll state for the tada class. Basically the same thing, animation, tada, 2 seconds, infinite. Next, we'll write for the wobble, at 0 first, initially. Let's consider at keyframes, wobble at 0% transform translate x of 0% at 16% transform translate y of minus 25% rotate of minus 5 degree. Next, 30% of transform translate x of 20% rotate of 3 degree, right? Next, let's write for 45%. During the 45%, transform translate y of, give me a second, this will be translate x of minus 15%, also rotate of minus 3 degree. I'll just copy the same thing, 45. This one will be writing for 60, 75 and 100. I'll paste the same thing. This will be basically, give me a second, 60, 75 and 100. So for the 60, it will be transform translate x of 10% rotate, it's 2 degree. 75%, this will be translate x of minus 5% and rotate of minus 1. Also here for the 100%, just give translate x of 0%, and we don't need this rotate. This is it for the wobble. We'll style for the wobble class. Same thing, animation, wobble, 2 seconds, infinite. Finally, we'll write styles for the jello, right? The last one. Keyframes, jello, will be writing at 0, 11.1 and 100%. Initially, transform will give null. At 22.2%, I'll give transform skew x of 12.5 degree and make use of qy of minus 12.5 degree for both, right? Next, let's style for the 33.3, 44.4 in that way, right? I'll just copy the same thing. This is for 33.3, 44.4, 55.5 and 66.6, 77.7, finally 88.8, these things, right? So let me change this one to 33.3 here. Instead of 12.5, let me give 6.25 Same thing, 6.25. Sorry, this one, I'll just copy this one, then paste it over here. This would be minus 3.125, right? This one will be 3.125. This has to be 44.4. Next, 55.5, right? This has to be 1.562. Give it a second. 1.562. Here also, I'll give 1.56. 55.5%. For the 66.6%, we'll be giving 1 second. Let me change this one to 66.6%. Minus 0.78125. The same thing I'll give, minus 0.78125. Next, this will be 77.7. For this one, 0.39065. So give me a second. The same thing I'll give here. 0.390625 for the both, right? Finally, we'll give for 88.8. Here, I'll just change this one to 88.8. This will be minus 0.1953125. One nine 53125. Basically this one. Finally, give me a second. After this one, we'll be writing the style for the class Jello, right? Same thing. Animation Jello 2 seconds infinite. So this is it for the styles, right? So what I have done is I have installed an extension called live server. This is the one. Whenever we make changes in the HTML, the changes will get directly reflected in the browser so that we don't have to reload the page again and again to see the changes. What I'll do, I'll just close this one and right click and click on open with live server. Let's wait for some time. So yeah, now this is showing like this, right? So what we are doing with the help of JavaScript, on click of the bounce, this box, right? The bounce animation has to, we have to show the bounce animation, right? On click of the rotate box, we have to show the rotate animation. Similarly, for all the 12 boxes, we have to show the particular animation, right? That we'll be doing with the help of JavaScript. What I'll do, let me come here and create the JavaScript file. I'll just name this one index.js. I'll just place the JavaScript file inside the script, right? src. I'll just give index.js. I'll move the index.js to right side. So what is the problem here? 1 second. Yeah. Here this should be index.js. So let's start writing the code for JavaScript. Just give me a second. So initially what we'll do, we'll select all the elements with the class name box, right? For that one, I'll just make use of the variable name boxes. Let me make use of document query selector all. Class name we are making use of, so I'll just make use of the box. Where is this box coming from? Basically this one. Query selector all means we are selecting all the box class name with the box, right? This one. Next, we'll add a click event listener to each box. I'll just comment this one and write add click event listener to each box. Boxes dot for each. Just consider box name box. Let me add the event listener to the each box. Event listener click, right? Let me call the function. This one, what we'll do, we'll remove the existing animation classes from the box. Just comment this one and write remove existing animation classes from the box. For that one, I'll just make use of the class list dot remove, right? So what are the things? Bounds, same thing, right? For all the 12. So what I'll do, I'll just copy the same thing. This has to be 12 times, right? So what I'll do, I'll just copy from here. Rotate. Paste it over here. Scale. Here. Fade. Here. Slide. Clip. Next, pulse. Next, shape. Swing. This will be tada. Bounce. We'll change the bounce to wobble. Finally, jello, right? I'll just copy this one, paste it over here. So next, we'll trigger the reflow to start the animation. Was that one? It's easy. I'll just comment this one and write trigger a reflow to start the animation. I'll just make use of void box. Will be giving offset rect. Next, we'll get the animation type from the data attribute of the box, where we have mentioned the data attribute basically here, right? We have given the data animation to each step. That is nothing but the data attribute. And just comment this one and write get the animation type from the data attribute of the box. Just make use of the variable name animation. Get attribute. You just go here and I'll copy the same thing in data animation, right? Let me copy this one and paste here in data animation. So then finally what we'll do, we'll add the animation class to that the animation. So add the animation class to start the animation. For that one, I'll just give box class list. What we are adding? Animation, right? So this is it for the JavaScript. Let me format this document once. Let's check now. So when I click on bounce, you can see the animation, right? So when I click on rotate, this is getting rotated. Scale, fade is also working. Slide, you can see slide is also working. Flip, also the pulse is working correctly, right? Shake, this is shaking. Swing, this is getting swung, actually left and right. Tada is working properly. Wobble is also working properly. Finally, the jello. So all the animations are working properly as you're seeing. So let me refresh this one and again check one by one. So yeah, everything is working properly. So yes, this is it. Thanks for watching, guys.